What's up, guys? It's Joel, Punishers Paintball. Today we've got a very exciting product comparison video between two of the most anticipated markers for 2024. We've got the Eclipse CS3 on my left, your right, and we've got the new DLX Luxe Idol that we've been testing from DLX Technologies, and we are here to do the full comparison video for you guys and give you our honest feedback between these two markers. So with that said, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys after the intro. I'm so free. So the Luxe Idol is actually not even shipping yet when it comes to retail items, but DLX has done a really good job of putting prototype markers out there for both retailers as well as social influencers, and pro teams are using the Luxe Idol. The feedback so far has been pretty positive from the people that I've been letting use this marker, as well as my own personal thoughts, and from everybody that I've been talking to in the industry. They've had good things to say about the Luxe Idol. The Eclipse CS3 is your tried and true top-end flagship marker from Eclipse, and is just overall just a workhorse, and is going to offer some really great features. So we're here to talk about these two markers and figure out which one is the best. So we've got a checklist of things here. I'm going to put that up on the screen real quick and show you guys all the differences between the two. First and foremost, we're going to talk about packaging between the two markers. So we've got the Eclipse CS3. I'm going to break out the case here real quick for the CS3. As you guys can see here, it's a very nice case. Does no longer dent as compared to the older cases. It's the same case that's going to be offered between the 180R, the LV2, and the CS3. They finally updated this, and it is probably my favorite case out of any of the cases. It has a nice carry handle that is elastic and goes back into place. It's got nice metal zippers that never fail. And opening the case up, it's got all kinds of different slots here. Barrel tip goes here, barrel back goes here, and then on top of that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 slots, so you can fit a total of 5 power inserts if you put one insert in the barrel. So that is really nice. It comes with a really nice branded barrel cover. I'm going to pull this out, and then you can see the lube behind it. Comes with plenty of lube. Comes with the nice branded Eclipse barrel cover, probably one of the nicest barrel covers from any new marker that you're going to buy. It does have the full labeled parts kit. It's got the color manual, which is really nice. I will say this though, the color manual, they took away the parts diagram in the back, and it's driving me nuts. I just had some issues with my CS3 this last weekend. First time in 100,000 shots, guys, so don't think that this happens. But I needed to put an O-ring on it, and I actually had to use my cell phone with this interactive parts finder that they probably think is good. I wish that they would just put the frickin' parts diagram back into this, so that way I can pull my manual out and have it all right there, as compared to waiting my phone to load and all that stuff. But overall, guys, this is great. Otherwise, it's going to walk you through every single portion of the marker. It has an elastic band that just pops in like that and keeps that into place, so you can open this up without everything falling out. And then a spot for the marker, as well as your Allen keys. Overall, very nice when it comes to that. DLX has changed their packaging for the Luxe Idol, and finally updated what was definitely due, in my personal opinion. Wouldn't you agree, Cody? I mean, it was a nice case, but
it was a nice case.
Yeah,
but this case is.
You like this case?
This might be one of my favorite cases on the market.
Okay, so we're here to talk about this because I disagree. So
there's a lot to it. That's the only problem.
Yeah, it's definitely complex. It does have these spots here, so you can put a carry handle on it. I don't know if we got...
It's given. It's in there.
It's in... Oh, it's in here. Okay, I guess I didn't see it. Opening up the case... Oh, another thing. On the outside, guys, this is this, like, nice material that you just wipe off. I brought it to the NXL Vegas prep this weekend, and I got a bunch of paint and junk over it, and I just took a microfiber, wiped it off. That is definitely nice. Yeah. I do like that. It's not going to dent, similar to this. This does stain a little bit for the Eclipse case, but nothing too crazy when it comes to that. Opening this up, you're going to have drawstrings on both sides that are going to hold things into place. On the one side is your waterproof case as well as, so it's got the Luxe branding here, and then on the back it's got like a carry or a
ID.
Thank you, an ID. I can't talk today. Opening it up, it is the same material on the inside, so you can clean it out, protect your marker and all that jazz. It's not microfiber lined, so it's never going to get dirty. You're going to be able to keep this case nice. I like this. It's not bad. I like the fact that you can just carry your marker around and keep it protected. Now popping this in and out of place. Once again, I talked about this in the Luxe Idol overview video. It's not bad. I don't know why they use drawstrings.
I'm not quite sure either, but because it sits in there properly.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
It's definitely an improvement.
Much better.
Okay, so we're in agreement there. On this side, this is going to be your barrel system. So you break the barrel down. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's got 7 slots, which is nice. It's going to come with a large bore and a small bore barrel insert. We'll talk about the barrel here in a second. Opening this up, you are going to be offered all your different options here. So your charger, your Allen keys, your lube, which is about the same amount of lube as the Planet Eclipse. You've got your barrel cover and then your parts kit. Once again, your parts kit is not labeled.
That's the only downfall. Only downfall.
You know, we tech these guns all the time.
It's hard to.
You can't even tell.
The durometer.
This is so like it's basically useless, guys, because all the different like durometers and hardnesses of the O-rings that Luxe uses. It's not like with Planet Eclipse where it's just the same no matter what, except sometimes they use a 90 durometer as compared to a 70 durometer. But for the most part, it's always 70 durometer, so it's just a size thing. With the Luxe, it's different. So it's very frustrating.
Yes.
It's very frustrating. I don't know. I like it. It's not bad.
Yeah.
This thing drives me nuts because the drawstring. Look at this.
Did it break on you already?
It broke.
Yeah.
Already. This gun's got like 10,000 shots on it. Now, here's what I will say. Me personally, if I have this case, if I'm using a Luxe Idol, I'm taking it out, and I'm taking this, and it's putting it in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it does fit nice. I don't know. I personally think that this packaging just makes more sense.
It looks better, but I like the idea behind the Luxe.
Why? Because it's more complex, like you've got special spots for everything?
Yeah.
Like it's more organized?
Yeah, it's way more organized.
Interesting. Okay. Alright.
And I don't have to carry around the whole case if I just want my gun and barrel.
Oh.
Put a microfiber in that one little case and I just take my...
Well, the other thing too is if you wanted to take like the parts portion of this, you could probably take the gun and put it in here.
Yeah, probably.
And your barrel and carry all that around and just forgo this completely.
Yeah.
But like you said, you can take one,
my barrel.
That way you don't have to, and it has a carry handle, which is nice. I'm not crazy about it. I don't know, guys. I'm not crazy about it. I like this case more just because like this is streamlined. I can grab this, carry it around. It just makes more sense to me personally. Cody likes this one.
I like the design of it. It's cool. It's something
nice.
new.
Yeah, it's new for sure, and it's definitely an improvement from their last case.
Yes, that one would bend and.
Yeah.
It would dent up, all kinds of stuff.
I think I would like it way more if they didn't do the drawstrings. The drawstrings is the one thing, but then on top of that, like having 3 total cases, I personally, I don't know. I'm not
too much for them.
Too much for me. Cody likes it. We want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments when it comes to it. All right, so next up, guys, we've got the barrel system between the two. The Planet Eclipse CS3 offers the S63 barrel system. It takes power inserts. It comes with 2. It comes with a 689 and a 685. Porting's nice, 14.5-inch barrel, weighs 4.2 ounces, I think, is what we talked about. The Freak barrel is been kind of redesigned. It is Luxe thread, not autococker thread. And I believe it's a true 14-inch barrel, I want to say. And guys, as you can see there, how easy that was to unscrew. That's the main reason that they stuck with the Luxe threading on it as compared to autococker, is just because it's easier to unscrew and screw back in. So that's a 14-inch, true 14-inch barrel for the Luxe Idol. Which one do you like better, Cody? I think I actually like the Luxe barrel more. I do too.
I like the new design Luxe barrel is way better. Absolutely.
Yeah, the styling's way better.
Yes.
I kind of wish it had a window. Like, that's the one thing that I will give an advantage to the S63 barrel system, is that it has a window. Now, with the barrel system, here's what I will say. If you want to customize the Luxe, there's really no good way of customizing the Luxe, because you have to buy an adapter or whatever the case may be. Whereas with the Planet Eclipse barrel system, it's autococker thread, so if you want to put a carbon nano barrel or a dye ULI barrel on it or whatever,
yeah,
it's easy. So in that sense, if we're just comparing the two barrel systems as is, I'm probably going to pick the Luxe just because it's a little bit more stylish. I like the fact that it's actually a true 14-inch, whereas if we're going to incorporate the fact that this is autococker thread, I'm going to choose this one because of the fact that I can upgrade it. But I do like the Luxe thread. If I'm keeping both stock barrels, I like the Luxe thread because you just unscrew it, boom, screw it back in, two twists, whereas like it's definitely more to take the autococker barrel system off with the autococker thread. Next up, guys, feed neck between the two. Planet Eclipse offers this really nice feed neck. It's a low-rise feed neck. Same thing with the Q-Lock system from Luxe. Luxe did change the thumb wheel, so it is a larger thumb wheel. I would say overall it appears to be a little bit lower as far as the way that it sits on the marker, and they're actually inverse. So this one, the clamp is on the left and the lock's on the right, and this one's the opposite. The thumb wheel is a little bit larger on the Planet Eclipse CS3. I personally could care less between the two. I mean, they're both great. I'm not going to like pick one over the other. If I had to pick, I probably would pick the Planet Eclipse. I'd probably pick the Planet Eclipse. Mainly because I like the fact that it's a little bit larger, so like when my loader's on it, and the fact that it's on the left-hand side, so I can go like this since I'm right-handed and just use my thumb and just tighten it back up with my loader, whereas this one's the opposite. And this one doesn't have like as big grooves on it.
I like the CS3 more because of the cleaning aspect. You can't take the full feed neck off of that.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. I didn't think about that. Yeah, so with the Planet Eclipse CS3, it's locked in with a screw right here, whereas with the Luxe guys, it's, I believe, screwed in. So you have to take this top collar off and then twist it off, and that can be a real pain in the butt. So yeah, that's a good point, Cody. With that, I'm definitely taking the CS3.
Yeah.
Now
and I can actually place the CS3 feed neck without unscrewing the entire feed neck.
Right, yeah, for sure.
And I don't know if you're going to screw it in properly after. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we both agree feed neck wise, we're going to pick the CS3.
Yeah.
Next up, guys, eyes between the two.
I'm personally taking the CS3.
Yeah,
I don't like 100%. The cord.
Yeah, 100%. So the CS3 uses a reflective system here. As you guys can see here, go ahead and zoom in a little bit. That just came off there. This latch system right here holds the eye cover into place, and then there's a reflective system that comes off the lower board on the trigger frame that reflects onto the eye cover. So you can just take this eye cover, wipe it off, and pop it back into place just like so, and then pop that forward, and that's how simple it is to maintain that. I like it a lot more than the like Go4 system, which uses a cable system, or the LV2, which still uses a cable system. So that is probably one of my favorite eye systems in the game. Now the Luxe Idol has it does have a toolless feature, so you just pop that button right here, or not button, but kind of like a latch. You slide that forward and put pressure on the forward portion of the eye cover, and it pops off. And then, as you guys can see there, the Luxe Idol still is using the ribbon style eyes, so I don't think that there's any negotiation when it comes to which one wins between the two. And the reason we say that is because the ribbon style tends to tear, and if it tears, then you have to replace the eyes. So overall, guys, the CS3 wins when it comes to the eyes. Another point that Cody made was that the Luxe Idol did improve a little bit with the magnets. It's very easy to pop that latch in and out. So if you are a Luxe person, you really like your Luxes, the Idol is very easy to take that eye cover off and pop it back into place, which is nice. But overall, we're both choosing the CS3 when it comes to eye system. Battery changing between the two, This is going to take 2 AA's. You're just going to pull this down, pop this out, and there is your 2 AA's that just kind of come out. You can put it back into place. There's even like a little diagram on the plastic here. It's going to tell you which orientation you need for the AA's. On the DLX Luxe Idol is a rechargeable battery, and you are going to pull the system off here, or the back latch off here, and then you're charging. Go ahead and zoom in a little bit. The charging system is going to be right here. So it's going to be USB-C, which is nice, and the battery is going to be locked into place right here. Holds a good charge. Go ahead and zoom back out. Holds a good charge, guys. I have never been crazy about rechargeable batteries, especially with like the Dye M3 Plus. This is the only one that I'm like semi-okay with, and the reason I say that is because it holds a charge for a very long portion of time. My TM40 could go a month or 2 months before I ever needed to charge it. So I do like that portion about it, and I like the fact that they now put it in the back and that it's got a new power button, so it's very easy to press it on and off. Cody, which one are you choosing between the two?
So I'm only choosing the CS3 because I don't have to recharge it.
Yeah,
that's
agreed.
it. But I like how they changed the battery, so you're not like squeezing the battery and misplacing it. It's behind the cap.
Yeah. So they fixed a common issue with the TM40 where the TM40 battery was in the front of the trigger frame, and as your grips wore, that battery would start to shift because it used a plastic retainer. Now it's a metal retainer on the idle, and would cause the battery to move a little bit, and where the battery connection was made, it would separate and the gun would randomly turn off. They fixed that with the idle. Kudos to them for fixing it. If I'm a rechargeable battery guy, I'm picking the idle. I'm picking the CS3 personally though, and the reason I'm picking the CS3 is because it's AA's. I can get AA's anywhere. You know, it is nice that it's USB-C though, so like if I, you know, like for example, I have an iPhone 15, so I use USB-C to charge my phone, so I always have a cable with me. So like when I was on the way to Paintball the other weekend, I just plugged it in, you know, took my phone off the charger for a little bit in my truck, and then plugged it in. So that portion is nice. But I overall am probably going to pick the CS3 because of being able to just like, if you have a problem and you're almost out of battery, you forgot to charge your Luxe, then you've got to like, you know, wait, you know, 30 minutes to charge your gun, run your car, all that stuff. Whereas like the CS3, boom, just pop in some batteries, especially if you use AA's in your loader, you probably already have AA's. So I'm picking the CS3. Next up, guys, trigger between the two. I'm picking the Luxe Idol.
Me too.
Okay, fair. The Luxe Idol has this new improved kind of like deuce style, blade style trigger, so it's not a very pronounced deuce style trigger, but I really like the trigger on this. I think it's awfully wide, but so is the CS3 trigger. I wish they had made it thinner like the TM40 trigger, but I do like the styling of it. I like the return. I adjusted the trigger a little bit on this one, and I really like it. On my personal CS3, I use the stock trigger as well, and I'm not crazy about it, but I still use it. This is a 4-way adjustable trigger, so is that. What's that?
It's actually a 5-way adjustable trigger.
Post-travel, pre-travel, magnet, trigger, or
and the angle of the
spring. Okay, yeah, that's true. You can't do that with the idle.
No.
Yeah, so technically that is an advantage to the CS3, but when it comes to overall feel between the two, that's one thing that almost everybody that has used this marker, because I've let a lot of people use it, they all said that they love the trigger on the idle.
The trigger is great.
Yeah, the trigger is good, for sure. So next up, guys, we're going to talk about board/programming between the two markers. So between the two, guys, the Luxe Idol is offering this new OLED screen that's on the side of the marker. Overall, I really like that about the marker. It's very nice. You also have like an audible person that talks to you. Cody really likes the fact that she talks to you.
To the Luxe experience, battery level 60%, firing mode NXL.
It is nice because it's going to give you different features of what's going on with the marker. The other thing too is when you go into programming, she's also going to tell you like what programming you're in and what you are changing and everything else like that. I really like the fact that the marker does talk to you, and the trigger, it's very simple to cycle through all the different programming. Now the CS3 is going to be on the back, which a lot of people are saying that they like. I personally don't mind either. There is 3 buttons on the back. I really like the fact that it has 3 different buttons that I can use to cycle through instead of having to use my trigger. They're both going to be really nice boards. I like having the extra display size on the Luxe Idol. I like having the 3 buttons on the back on the CS3. I think between the two, I'm probably going to pick the Luxe Idol personally. But this is really tough, guys, because I like the fact I'm not worried about the location, me personally, of where the OLED is. That doesn't bother me. But I like having the 3 buttons on this. The game changer for me is, for this one, is the size and the fact that it actually talks to you. I do like that. What do you think, Cody?
Man, it's a hard one.
It is.
The visual of the Idol is better.
It is, for sure.
The design of the CS3
Is better, yeah,
so
for sure.
It's hard. It's almost even, because I would rather the board in the CS3, but the buttons on the board, so it's hard.
Yeah, I know. So if I'm gonna have to pick one, like I said, I'm probably picking the Idol, just because I like having that extra screen size, and not having the 3 buttons isn't a game changer. I cycled through some of the programming on the Idol, and it really didn't bother me too much. Whereas like the CS3, like, very simple, 3 buttons makes it easy. But so that's kind of like equal for me. Because of, now if it didn't have Audible talking to me, I'd probably pick the CS3. But the fact that she talks to you when you're programming it makes it a little bit easier, in my personal opinion. Alright guys, next up we've got the ASA between the two. CS3 offers this pops ASA. You're just going to push this, it's going to unengage your air, you're going to slap it to engage your air. Very, very simple there, stylish design. If you grip your marker low, it's going to do a good job of staying out of your way. The Luxe ASA has been redesigned. It has a stainless steel portion here that's going to make it very reliable, and it's not going to bend or snap or anything else like that. It is 180 degrees unengaged and 0 degrees when it's engaged, so that way you can sit your marker down. That was a common complaint with people. I don't know.
I'm picking the CS3.
Why?
Because it's easier to take apart.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, I think both systems are good.
Yeah,
like I'm not.
Both
I
very
could,
good systems. I mean, we're talking about 2 of the best guns, so
yeah,
like we're nitpicking at this point.
correct. I think I like this easier.
My
Like
problem
more.
is I can't do it with gloves on.
Okay, you
That's
can.
my only problem.
So you were having issues with it. I had people do it at the field, and it didn't seem like there was a lot of people struggling with it.
Yeah, I was struggling.
My biggest thing is like the button here and engaging it. I'm not crazy about it, whereas like just flipping a lever makes more sense to me. It's just like easier.
Yeah.
But to your point, like maintaining the ASA,
Yeah.
it's very easy to maintain this ASA. The ASA on the TM40 is a little bit more complex since we take these markers apart all the time. Or not the TM40, the Idol, I should say. But between the two, I think like I'm gonna pick the Idol probably because I just like that lever.
Yeah, the lever is definitely better than the pops.
Yeah, but it is definitely easier to maintain the CS3. So Cody, you're picking the CS3.
If we're going by looks, I'm picking the Idol. If we're going by design,
Functionality slash.
I'm going with the CS3.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. All right, next up, guys, we've got ergonomics between the two markers. This is kind of a game changer for me. We've got the CS3 rubber grips, very thin foregrip here. They've recontoured the trigger frame to make it thinner and angled more than the CS2. I really like the feel of the CS3. I personally use the CS3, and that's one of the reasons I use it, because I really like the ergonomics. The Luxe Idol is also great, guys, when it comes to the ergonomics on it. I really like the ergonomics. It's a very lightweight marker. It's metal foregrip in the front. The Idol grips on the back are nice. Like they're not like, they're kind of similar in texture and everything else compared to the CS3. I like the metal portion on the back. One thing that I did notice is that a common complaint with a bunch of my players that used it was that it's slippery for those guys that are playing in the front. So that might be an issue. I like the fact that you can just maybe put a little tape here to make it, you know, not slippy. But for me, when I'm shooting in the back, I love this thing, you know. Now, ergonomically, I am going to pick the CS3 overall, and here's why. This marker is just slightly too small for me. That's really it. Otherwise, I'd probably pick this gun. Because the body, guys, is just a little bit too small for me. I'm a very big guy, like I'm 6'3", so like when I pull up with this, it doesn't come right into my line of vision. Whereas with the CS3, it's got a little bit larger of a body, so when I pull up, the barrel is kind of like right where I need it to be, and I notice that I lane really well. Whereas like with my TM40, the reason I'm still not using my TM40 is because I noticed I shot low a lot, and I think it's because of that extra like quarter of an inch on body size and where the barrel is compared to the two. Ergonomically though, they're both great guns. I think for me,
it's a hard one.
Yeah.
I really like the front grip of the idle.
I do too. I personally, like, overall, I'm probably going to pick the idle. Like, from an ergonomic standpoint, I use the CS3. If the idle was a little bit larger, then I'd probably, would be using the idle. I just tend to shoot better naturally with the CS3, and that's otherwise. But if I'm just going to hold both of these markers in my hands right here, I like the way that the idle feels. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's me personally.
It's really close. Like, it ends up come down to the foregrip. Like, I like the rubber compared to the
Oh, you like the rubber?
Yeah.
Is that because you're a front guy and you're moving
No,
around?
because I like the new design of it with the tapering.
Yeah, it's a little bit thinner.
Yeah.
Towards the bottom.
But I don't know. It's something about grabbing the front foregrip of the CS3. It just feels a lot better in my hands.
Right on.
So it kind of goes to you. Like, I feel like I shoot better with the CS3.
I feel like I shoot better with the CS3, and that's why I use it. Yeah, for sure. But just like at a base value, I like the idle.
Yeah, the
but
idle.
I guess I'm switching. I guess I gotta say the CS3 because of the fact that, like, for me naturally, like, I'm saying that I shoot better with the CS3, so I guess.
But the feel,
I have to
it's
pick
the
the CS3.
idle. Like, I love the idle.
The feel, yeah.
Dude, the idle
Right.
feels great.
Like, if you pick these two markers up and you're not using them and you're not shooting them, I like this one better.
Yes.
But when I'm using a marker, I like the way the CS3 feels better.
Yes.
All right, next up, guys, we've got the weight between the two markers. Okay, so first up, I've got the idle here. We've got our scale, and it is tiered at 0. We're going to put the marker on here. It does have the battery, a barrel with an insert.
114.0.
1 pound, 14 ounces. So very, very lightweight for the idle. I'm going to put this back on here, and we're going to take the CS3 and also take this off. The CS3 does have batteries in it. And we're going to put this on. It also has an insert, so it's fair value. 1 pound.
15 on the dot.
1 pound, 15 ounces, guys. So from a weight perspective, the idle does win, which, you would expect because it's a smaller marker. Next thing that we're going to touch on, guys, is maintenance between the two markers. We've got the Luxe idle over here. We've put 10,000 shots on it. We've had 0 issues. The CS3 is obviously known as being one of the most reliable markers on the face of the planet. Between the two of them, they're both great. I've got a few things to say. First and foremost is a new marker, so there are question marks there. I personally had used the TM40 before I went to the CS3. The TM40 was great. I did have the issue with the marker turning off on me, and that was fixed by changing where the retaining clip was for that. They fixed it on the Luxe idle, and from a efficiency and reliability perspective, I haven't had any issues with the idle so far. It's shot great. It hasn't had any faults whatsoever. I use the CS3. I have 100,000 shots on my CS3. It just recently gave me an issue actually this last weekend, but I'm not sure if it's because of the field and where I was filling my tank, because I've never had any issues with it before. I very, very ever lube it or change the batteries on it. So overall, guys, when it comes to the maintenance, I have to pick the Planet Eclipse CS3. The main reason for that is because Planet Eclipse is just known for the reliability perspective, and maintaining the regulator and all that stuff is very easy. With the CS3, the idle is also easy to maintain the HPR. My biggest factor is the O-rings that these two marker uses. The CS3 uses basically the same durometer O-ring and uses standard size O-rings. So it's very, very simple to maintain it. If you're having an issue with it, it comes with a full labeled parts kit already there, so you can rebuild the marker at least one time over from start to finish. With the CS3, with the Luxe Idol, it's going to use different durometer O-rings pretty much on the entire bolt system as well as the regulator system. That can be really confusing to somebody that's not used to maintaining a marker. And for me, that's the biggest factor between the two. But overall, like, I haven't had any issues with the Idol yet. And like I said, I've put 10,000 shots on it. I haven't even lubed it yet. Maybe once I've lubed it, and it's been great so far. Cody?
Yeah, I'm with you on it.
You have anything to add?
No, because it's a question mark still. We still don't know.
Yeah. But overall, like, the TM40 was a workhorse.
Oh man, it was great. I had 3 of them, and they all 3 had over 150,000 shots. So
yeah, and you had no issues with
no
them?
issues ever.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing was like the battery thing. They fixed that. It still has eye ribbons. That can be a pain. If you rip one of those, you have to do that. Whereas like with this, you don't have that. So, but overall, guys, maintenance perspective, like in the long run, if you're going to buy this marker and use it for multiple years, you're probably going to run into more issues with the Idol as compared to the CS3. But like, not by a ton, right? Like, you're not constantly going to be maintaining the Idol as compared to the CS3. They're going to be relatively similar. And I would say that for me, the TM40 is probably questionably the most reliable marker that I ever used, including with the Planet Eclipse markers. I had very few issues with it. Like,
the big change is that they fixed the battery or the magnets. The magnets have retaining clips, so you can actually replace the magnets.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they replaced and made retaining clips for the back cap where you take it apart from the frame.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely nice, especially like if you're trying to customize it, anodize it, whatever the case may be. That's also nice. So yeah.
Well, and you'd lose some of the magnets, and then you have to glue them back in.
Yeah,
so
you could definitely lose magnets. Build quality / reliability, we pretty much talked on it, guys, between the two. Build quality wise, reliability, we're going to pick the CS3, but it's not by a landslide between the two markers. I think that if you're looking at two of the more reliable brands on the market, I'm going to go with the Luxe and the CS3. I'm probably going to put dye in that third spot with the M3 Plus and the DSR Plus. So it's close, but we're going to give the advantage to the CS3 here. Tech support between the two, once again, Planet Eclipse is going to win it when it comes to the tech support side of things. They're always at regional events, which is kind of my reason for it. We're relatively local to DLX, and they're not even at the regional series anymore, whereas they still send a master tech to those events for Planet Eclipse. So for me, from a tech support perspective, I choose Planet Eclipse. I know that when I ship them a marker, we're going to get it back. It's going to be repaired properly. DLX and Luxe, sometimes it takes them a little bit longer to get things back to us. Sometimes they return it to us, and we have to ship it back because it didn't get repaired or something happened or whatever the case may be. Next up, guys, upgradability. This is going to eventually offer a mech frame with it, trigger on it. Can't be adjusted yet, but that's because it hasn't officially been released, so it's kind of hard to talk on this subject. The Planet Eclipse CS3 has a mech frame option as well. You can get a few different triggers for it. It's auto cocker thread, so if you want to put a different barrel system on it, that's pretty much all you can do to the CS3. So for me, I'm probably going to pick the CS3 for right now. Keep in mind, this is before production run guns have even gone out for the Idol yet. But the reason for that is actually the auto cocker thread. Whether or not the Idol offers different triggers, that would be a stalemate. But for me, the fact that the CS3 is auto cocker thread, if you want to change your barrel system, you can do that. Whether or not it's an actual upgrade is debatable. But that's kind of my major thing. Is like you can't really change the barrel system on the Idol. So, yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. When we're talking about these two flagship markers, we're gonna go outside. We're going to do a shooting comparison between the two, talk about shot quality, paint handling, and efficiency with these two markers, and then give you our overall opinion on value when you're trying to decide between these two markers. So with that said, we'll see you guys outside. All right, guys, so we're outside now. We've got the CS3 and the Luxe Idol, and we are here to do shot quality, efficiency, as well as paint handling, or at least talk about that stuff, mostly the shot quality. We've done brittle paint tests with both of these. We've done efficiency with both of these. I'll touch on that after we do the shooting. We've got GI 5-star here, tank output pressure on both of them, 500 PSI. They're both using an 8.8 bore. And you know, both have Virtue spires on them, so trying to keep it as close as possible between the two. We're going to start with the CS3 here, do a little chrono action for you guys here. All right, first shot 284, second shot 292, 298, so we're right in that 280 to 290 range. CS3. Got the Luxe Idol here. Just talking to me. All right. Here we go. Here's 287, 277, 289 in that same price range. There we go. Side by side. Idle. CS3. Idle. CS3. Idle. CS3. All right, Cody, your turn. All right, guys. So now we're here with Cody. Cody's going to do the same thing so that he has an opinion on it side by side. Here we go.
The CS3.
Oh. Sorry, I'm turning it off on you.
Idle. CS3. Idle. Pretty close. The shot on the idle is definitely a lot less.
All right, Cody. What do you think between the two?
So the shot I'm taking on the idle, but the shot quality, or no, sorry, the sound I'm taking the CS3, but the shot quality I'm taking the idle.
Yeah, I agree with that. Actually,
100%.
That's perfect.
It's just
I
a little bit
like
loud.
the recoil and the way that the idol feels when I shoot it, but I definitely
the sound of it's just a little
Yeah.
weird to me.
it's just louder.
Yeah, it's a lot louder. This is like more like like a distinctive shot.
Okay. All right, guys. So there you have it. That's the shot quality portion of this video between the CS3 and the idol. And so first off, before we get to efficiency and paint handling, Cody, you had said that you liked the way that shot, but you liked the sound signature of the CS3.
Yes.
So overall, are you picking the idol over the CS3, like from a shot quality perspective?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
I actually would agree with that too.
Yep.
Like I really like the way that the idol shoots. It is definitely louder between the two, but the loudness doesn't necessarily translate to how it feels in the hands. So I'm going to choose, shot quality wise, I'm going to choose the idol as well. From an efficiency standpoint between the two markers, the CS3 is slightly less efficient. With the CS3, we got 1,670 shots off of 77 when we did that test a while back. And then with the DLX Luxe Idol, we got 1,720 shots. So it's not a huge difference. And like if we milked out the Idol, we actually got closer to 1,750. Yeah. So they're both extremely efficient. I'm going to give an upper hand to the Idol when it comes to that. And then the last thing is paint handling between the two. CS3 does great with brittle paint.
I was going to say, it's just about wash. I mean, we don't know yet quite with the idol, but if it's anything like any other Luxe, it's going to be.
Yeah, by the time that you guys see this video, we'll have dropped an idol brittle paint test. you guys can check that video out. But we shot 5-star that had been sitting in the freezer with the idle, and it handled it great. So I really don't think that like the idle is any better or worse. They did try and make an improvement with the idle, less rollback when the ball is in the chamber compared to the TM40, and I think that definitely shows because it handled, cold 5-star just fine. So I think that's a wash for me.
Yeah.
I think if I was back against the wall, had to choose one between the two, I'm probably going to pick the CS3 out of those two options when it comes to paint handling. Probably. But like they're so close that like I'd say it's a wash. So with that said, $1,750 for the CS3, $1,800 for the idle. Which one are you choosing and why?
CS3 just because of the ergonomics.
Yeah, I mean the CS3 like feels great in the hands. I actually shoot the CS3 right now as well. And I would say, the biggest factor for me is the ergonomics.
If I cared that much about my shot and I actually shot that much, I might shoot the idle. But like, if the ergonomics aren't there, I'm gonna go with.
What is it about the ergonomics on the CS3?
I don't know. I think it's the foregrip. Maybe how they slim down the back grip a little bit more, but I think it's the foregrip.
I think for me, ergonomically, the CS3 feels better because it's just a little bit larger, like I had spoken about in the ergonomics portion of this. I just tend to shoot better with the CS3, otherwise I'd probably be shooting that. I think from a features perspective, the Luxe Idle is significantly better as far as like the bigger screen, the toollessness, the toolless ability to switch from your electronic frame to your mechanical frame. I think the Idle takes it for me when it comes to that. I think that they priced it, $50 more expensive. I don't know. I mean, they're in that same price range. If I'm going to have to pick one, I'm actually going to pick the Idle, believe it or not. And the reason I say that is just because of the features. It's slightly more efficient, paint handling. The CS3 is going to be more reliable, and the ergonomics are better. But like just comparing a gun to a gun, I'm going to, without personal preference, I think that the Idle takes it.
Oh, well, if we're not doing personal preference, then the Idle.
Yeah.
From shot to the board to the trigger. The trigger is probably better than CS3, so if we're just doing purely on just looking at them,
But when you put your personal preference into it, you choose the CS3.
Yeah, for sure.
I think, same thing for me. Like I've moved away from the TM40, and the only reason I moved away from the TM40 is I noticed that I was shooting low, and I've basically boiled that down to because the gun itself is smaller, tends for me to drop my shot a little bit as compared to CS3 being a little bit larger. Brings my shot up by half a foot to a foot, and that makes a big difference when I'm snap shooting and laning. But that's literally it. Otherwise, I still have my TM40 and I still use it. So I think that's it, guys. So with that said, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this comparison video between the two. Two flagship markers, especially with the Idle just coming out. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave it in the comment section of this video, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.